What's up, folks? Justin Phillip here, and welcome back to another episode of Dog Times Productions. Now today, I finally have completed my Cine Lens set. I have opted to complete it with the 10mm T 3.1. I had to double check what it was. I have the 85, the 50, the 35, the 24, the 16, and the 10. Now, some would say, why did you not go for the 135, which is a good selection, but I'm shooting on micro four thirds with the speed booster, so I'm pretty close to a super 35 mil. And I'm not big on like super telephoto lenses. I'm not big on that style of shooting. 85 mil with the speed booster gets me about a 110 to 115 equivalent full frame, so that's about as far punched in as I ever want to be for narrative work. Now for run and gun and live events, I do have the Canon 75 to 300, but I barely ever use it. Like I just shot a live event last night, and I was pretty far away, kind of like in the nosebleed section, and one of my lenses that I was shooting, I put the 85 Rokinon Cine on the GH5, and on the GH4 I had the Tamron 28 to 75 f2.8, and I actually had that Tamron set at the 28mm, which is with the speed booster is about a 40mm full frame equivalent. So I don't even really ever use the 75 to 300. So with that being said, I went the other end. I got the 16mm and the 10mm. Now, the 16mm, I believe, is about somewhere between a 20 and a 22mm full frame equivalent, but the 10mm gives you about a 14mm equivalent, 14 to 15mm full frame equivalent, which is the focal length they shot the Revenant on. Now, I am a huge fan of Inarritu. I am a huge fan of his cinematographer, and I'm a huge fan of super wide angle lenses. If you are not familiar with that wide angle look, you can see it in The Revenant, you can see it in Birdman. Another good reference is the new film The Favorite. That film is badass, and they shot a lot of that on vintage Nikon glass, and they have some super wide angle shots in that. And I've even noticed a few where they were using a fisheye lens. Now, I'm not a fan of the fisheye look unless I'm shooting skateboarding. But, however, this 10mm is pretty good at fighting that fisheye look. Whereas the 14mm, I'm going to tell you why I went with the 10mm instead of the 14mm. The 10mm is less curved than the 14. And I know that the 16 and the 10 are APS-C only lenses, but that's fine for me because I'm shooting on the GH5 with the Ultra Metabones. So I'm good there. I'm not really concerned. If I ever do upgrade up to a full frame camera like a Red, which is like my dream, then obviously it's not going to be hard to sell these two lenses to anyone working in the APS-C or even micro four thirds world. But yeah, there's also been some videos out where saying like this 10mm doesn't really work with the speed booster in the GH5 combo, but I've done my own tests on that, and like there was a guy who cut the sun hood off of this. I wouldn't recommend that. First of all, I don't know how or what he was shooting in, because I put it in 4K, I put it in Cinema 4K, I put it in HD, and I did not have the amount of vignetting that he was getting from the sun hood. I don't know what, maybe he wasn't actually shooting on a GH5. I'm a little confused by that video. I wouldn't recommend cutting the sun hood off of this because there's not a way to attach ND filters to this, so your sun hood is pretty much the only way you have to go. Again, you're probably not going to need much ND on this because it's only a 3.1. But with a wide angle lens, do you really want a shallow depth of field with a super wide angle lens like this? I mean, you're going to get it regardless. I mean, look at the shots of the Revenant, but yeah, I don't think it's really necessary to be using any screw-on NDs with this, not in my line of work and not anything I can see. But yeah, I mean, if you need it bad enough, just get yourself a matte box. Don't destroy your lens, especially if you're someone like me. I'm always constantly buying and reselling gear. But beyond that, let's get into this, and we'll get into my little review of this 10mm lens. So there you have it, folks. Thanks again for watching. As always, thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the feedback, comments. Be sure to hit me up on Instagram at JPOnFilm. I got a music video that's dropping this Thursday, Valentine's Day 2019. I'm super excited about it, super pumped about it. It's some of the finest work I've done. And yeah, so be sure to check that out. I shot it and directed it. And also, I don't know, hit up my website if you're looking for more information on me, justinphillip.net. Till next time, peace.